Yeah, struggling with the phone overheating. I've moved it a little bit now. So what I've done is I've moved it back, and now hopefully it's not in direct sunlight, but it's under the shadow of the wing mirror, of the rear view mirror. That's what I'm hoping anyway. So we'll try again, see if anybody joins us. Cooking along quite nicely, literally cooking in the Volvo. That is fairly cool though. I feel like if we get into the mountains it'll be cooler. 33 degrees, so it hasn't dropped off. Did it overheat? Yes it did. Yeah, I had to drive along with my phone out the window for a little while. It seems to be an iPhone thing, doesn't it? Because there's other people in the comments saying that they have overheating phones. Yeah, I think I need to get a Samsung, but let me know in the comments if there's a phone that you'd recommend. I say this is I think this is 16. Try to stop it vibrating a little bit. Run the heater, needs a new radiator. Well, the thing is, like, this is a mobile phone. Mobile phones don't have any way of cooling the batteries, do they? And a lot of the technology in electric cars has to go into battery cooling and temperature regulation. Whereas, you know, people like to make a big deal about the fact that internal combustion engine cars are more complicated than electric cars. But when it comes to a cooling system, they both need one, except, so I guess an electric car must have a water pump, right? And a radiator. How else does it cool the battery? So you've got all the same stuff going on anyway. So surely, if your battery's going to get hot, I'm just thinking out loud here, correct me if I'm wrong. Alright. Mr. G's browsing Instagram. If your battery's going to get warm, then you need a way of cooling it. So you need liquid cooling, which means you need a water pump, because you need to pump water around the battery. So it's exactly the same as internal combustion engine car, except when the engine's running, you're running your water pump. But with an EV, when you're sat in traffic, for example, you must still be running a water pump. So idling in it, I don't know, I'm confused. Let me know in the comments. I don't know why the phone mount's wobbling quite so much. It seems to be very wobbly. Get a portable fan blowing against the phone. If I direct the fans at the phone, I think we're okay this time. It is warm. But I think it's the load that live streaming puts on the phone as well is not insignificant. So if we go again and it overheats, then I'll call it a day, because it's no good for you guys if the feed just keeps cutting off. Although comments have stopped now and we're hanging at 76 people watching. Are we still there, or have we dropped off again? Scenery still rather beautiful as we go through is this the tail end of the Balkan Alps? Oh, 81 watching, so it did go up there, so we're still online. Yep, we're still here, we don't mind. Still here, says Richard. Great, thanks for joining us on this lovely Sunday. We visited a place called, you know, I like to make you work while you're doing a live feed, so we'll have some homework. So open another tab and look at the Skull Tower in Serbia, because it's quite interesting. We visited there this morning, that was our history lesson, and in 1809 the Ottomans were so sick of the Turks rebelling that they basically got 792 of them, chopped their heads off, and
Turks?
No, the Turks did it to the Serbs. Yeah. They chopped their heads off and they made a tower out of skulls. It's quite creepy, and it's still there to this day in Serbia. And many of the skulls are now gone, but yeah, take a look at it on Google Images. Skull Tower, Serbia. Definitely quite creepy. My phone just auto dimmed its brightness, which it's getting very hot again. Very hot. We'll just have to see how we go. I'm sort of waiting for the moment that an iPhone catches fire on me. It's Mrs. G is now. Did you find the back card, by the way?
Yeah.
Not in there. Okay. Mrs. G is now wafting the iPhone using my wallet as a fan. Excellent. It is warm, isn't it?
Oh.
No, Mrs. G broke the feed. Dear God, what have I happened upon? says someone. You've happened upon us. Oh, you mean the school bit? There's a place in Cambodia I've been to that has towers of schools from the genocide. They're called the Killing Fields. Yeah, it's pretty. The history of the world is really flipping violent. That's the thing. When you start reading about what's gone on in various places, like I got reading about the Bosnia-Serbia war the other day, and what went on with the genocide and the Battle of Srebrenica, the massacre of Srebrenica, sorry. It's pretty hideous what humans keep doing to each other. And that wasn't that long ago. That, you know, you're talking 1990s. So I am curious with Serbia, like, you know, with these countries, there must be a hangover of the war. There's got to be leftover feeling because it was only 30 years ago. So essentially, as I understand it, it was about trying to get rid of the Bosniak Muslim population mostly, and it was the Serbs that were the aggressors on that front. So I wonder how that translates to attitudes in Serbia today and attitudes from Muslims towards Serbia. Does it mean that Muslims don't want to go and live in Serbia because of what happened 30 years ago? What about the Spanish Inquisition? Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Yeah, you're quite right, Tim. Quite right. A lot of bad stuff has been done over the years. We've been fortunate to live in, well, no, let's be honest. Nothing to do with hereditary privilege, is it? It's just luck. You've got to be lucky to be born in a non-violent Western country. You know, most of the people watching were born in the UK and therefore are doing all right relative to the rest of the world. But, you know, some people might have been born into wealthy bloodlines and live in Monaco. So it's very much luck of the draw. Yeah, there you go, a little bit of philosophy for Geoff's Sunday sermon as we work our way down the Balkan Alps. You know, I was only 9 when the sort of Kosovo conflict was going on. But I do remember that it was on Newsround all the time. If you remember Newsround, as we go past this lorry, you'd come in from school, you'd watch the cartoons, and then it'd be Newsround and Blue Peter, or Blue Peter and then Newsround in whatever order. And the Bosnia-Serbia war was always on the telly, and it was always in the news. I remember seeing the newspaper, you know, the atrocities that were being committed and whatnot. And yeah, here we are now driving through Serbia. So interesting. I think you don't necessarily think about these things in any great detail until you travel through those countries. You know, you think about what's happened, and you go through the collapse of the Soviet Union and everything that, you know, Poland and Germany have been through. It's really interesting. European history's pretty violent. John Craven, yeah, wasn't he a Blue Peter presenter? Says Summer. So yeah, you get Blue Peter and Newsround, but it did seem like it was on every day. We had Kosovan refugees at our school in the 90s. Yeah, and Mrs. G will say that her neighbours many years ago were from Yugoslavia. They'd been displaced. You want to read about what went on during World War II there. If anybody's got any book recommendations like that, please email me, geoffbuyscars@gmail.com. Crazy for Cars from Germany says, seems like there's less traffic than yesterday. Yeah, but we've got a border crossing coming up. We're about 50 miles from the Bulgarian border, so we have another border crossing to do today. Yesterday we gave up. We never got to our destination, so that's 2 days in a row. We instead got a hotel. No, it was an Airbnb last night, wasn't it? It was nice. Religion is the cause of a lot of bother. Thank God I'm an atheist, says Tim. Tim, yeah, you're not wrong, but it's man's interpretation. We did this the other day on a live feed, didn't we? It's man's interpretation of a book that was written by man. That's the problem. Anybody want a smint?
Me.
Go on then, pass them out to me and Mummy. Smints are going round. Take one and pass them on. Tim Hicks, it's just Abrahamic religions. Well, yeah, it is, but the thing is, oh, I don't know. Well, you can argue it until the cows come home. Thank you.
Yeah.
But
give me the box out.
you know, I guess a lot of bad stuff was done against the Christians back in the day, but then again, a lot of bad stuff was done by the Christians. So you could go through the whole "what have the Romans ever done for us" thing. I would like to start a second channel on a different platform where I could actually speak my mind about things, because a lot of things that I want to say are not YouTube friendly. It's so fascinating walking around historical places. We were at Caravallog Castle last weekend. They got killed just for being Catholic. Yeah, exactly. You know, can you imagine a time where someone was killed for what they believe? It's interesting, isn't it? Well, that's going to be the UK pretty soon. Tim Hicks, I've done it now. What about the Crusades? Do we need round 2? I think we've got the Crusades going on and round 2 is happening, except we're losing. There you go. You can see where my sentiments lie. Right, we're going into a tunnel, so expect the feed to drop off momentarily, but the shade will allow the phone to cool down briefly. See, oh no, it's not a very large tunnel, only 125 meters. Someone said, where are we? We are in southern Serbia, and we are heading towards Sofia in Bulgaria. I thought you were an atheist, doesn't like conflict. Yeah, absolutely. I do not like conflict. I don't see the need for conflict. But when you're dealing with certain groups that are hell-bent on violence and conflict, then conflict is both unavoidable and necessary. I don't think that there's a peaceful way out of the direction that the UK is headed. Let's put it that way. And let's leave that there. Let's talk about cars. Let's talk about car envy. Have we seen any other cars that we've looked at and gone, oh, I'd rather be in that? I mean, yes, the aircon is a problem. The
aircon is a serious problem right now.
But these old Volvo P80s, it's very rare that you find one with functioning air conditioning. I think with all of these P80 Volvos that I've had one or two where it's actually worked. We've seen, let me go through what I think are the fastest cars in Europe, as we've driven most of Europe. The fastest car in Europe, and this might surprise you, is actually a German registered Volkswagen Passat Estate. That is, yeah, that's the one. Right, Dale's got a good one here. UK population. About 5 years ago, I saw the predicted world figures for each country. It was military data supplier, show UK population decreased, but other countries like Australia rocketed up. So maybe we move. I think it's a case of you got to jump before you're pushed. You set yourself up somewhere else just in case the proverbial starts to hit the fan. And I think we're getting to the stage in the UK where we're headed that way. Sorry, I was talking about cars. Fastest car in Europe is a German registered Volkswagen Passat Estate, followed by anything with a BMW badge, followed by anything with a Mercedes badge. Predominantly, the cars that have been going past us for the last 1,600 miles have been German. Have you seen any tent boxes? No. Do you know what? I don't think we've seen one.
No.
I think tent boxes are bought by people in England, in the UK, sorry, and they pay for them using Klarna, and they drive around with them just to make people think that they're going on epic adventures. I mean, we're on an epic adventure right now, and we haven't got a tent box. Yeah, the digital ID thing is bad. Birth rate of Luton shows you the UK's future. Did you see the most popular boys' names for the UK were announced the other day? And at number 1, for however many years running it was, I'll let you guess, but you're not allowed to draw a picture of him. What was that about Volvo? A more modern aircon on, put a more modern aircon on the Volvo. That's an idea. Just turn your speakers off for a second. I'm going to hang my phone out the window. This is probably very confusing, but I'm hanging my phone out the window to try and cool it down. tunnel was nice and cool. Someone said, what crap phone do you have? I got an iPhone 16.
But it was 15.
I don't know what it is.
15.
It was, sorry for messing your hair up there, Land Rover. Speaking of Land Rovers, we haven't seen many out here. Geoff, I want to buy a van to convert to a camper, but every used camper is bashed to hell, and apparently van insurance is nuts. What cars are good? Depends what you need. I mean, if it's just going to be you travelling, just get yourself a nice big Volvo. Reduce stream resolution to 1080p or 720p, and it would help with the load on the phone. I don't know how you do that. I'll have to have a look in the settings properly. Is yours overheating as well? Is it?
First time, actually.
Miss G hanging her phone out the window to try and call her phone down. Excellent. What about a Starlink antenna on the roof? Yeah, that could work. I should have put solar panels on the roof as well before we came away. There's a Range Rover. That was a fast one. So the only person who's not complaining is the little boy in the back. Geoff Buys Cars needs to be able to sit up, thinking a Berlingo maybe. I even think a Berlingo wouldn't quite be big enough. I'm just trying to think. I mean, yeah, but to be honest, the Berlingo's not a bad shout. And you could get away with a lot there because you wouldn't look like a camper. So I think you're right. I think a Berlingo, Peugeot Partner, Renault Kangoo, something like that, with a roof box or a little trailer. I think that would work really well. That was a Ford Vignale. Remember when Ford launched the Vignale brand, trying to go all luxurious? Citroen Dispatch, the car version, and then strip it. Yeah, anything like that with a large back end. But the thing is, you're always going to be compromised because they're so small. Yeah, it's always going to be a bit of a compromise because you're never going to have proper camper van space. But I reckon you can do it with a Berlingo. Schmints are going round again. Take one and pass them on. The Germans are going fast again. Look, that was a Mercedes. That's a Serbian car in front. Tell you what I've always wondered about that little Mercedes that just went past, right? That's the Mercedes A-Class. Did you know it has drilled front brakes? We were sat next to one in traffic yesterday, and I was looking at it, and it was a B180 Mercedes, and it's got drilled front brakes. Well, you can drill the front brakes on a B-Class Mercedes. Someone just said, where are we? We are in Serbia. Second-hand full-size buses are the cost of a car here. I actually think that's a great shout, but the problem is you need a license for them. But it's the same with a lot of things, isn't it? You can buy the larger version because less people want it. That's why a Volkswagen T5 is so expensive, because it's a mid-size vehicle. 10 bucks is the car version of a dry robe. Yeah, you're right. What's wrong with a fucking towel? Nothing. So you know what's really funny about dry robes, right? When I used to work in the surfing industry, there was a company that was like the first company that came out who stitched two towels together and stuck a hood in the middle, and it was called a Roby robe, and it was basically just two towels with a hood, and all the surfers would have them because we were like, that's brilliant, that's everything you could ever possibly need. They were about 30 quid and they were brilliant. And then the company Dry Robe launched from Croyd, and I remember because I worked at a surfing magazine and we got contacted about these dry robes, and we were like, what the hell, why would anybody buy one of these? It's 150 quid when you can have a £35 towel with a hood. And yet, which one was the product that kicked off? It was the fucking dry robe, wasn't it? And now you've got people in Birmingham walking around Lidl wearing a dry robe and a pair of Crocs. Like, what are they doing? What are they actually doing? Right, I just clicked that button as a highlight, and now I can have a highlight about me ranting about dry robes that I can actually post on YouTube. The drill brakes were an option you could buy for A or B class. It cost €400. Oh, that's a very geeky comment there, Oliver. Thank you for that. I didn't realise it was an option, but I suppose for €400 you'd probably go for it, wouldn't you? Because they're going to be better. Mrs G has got her phone out the window again. Was the camper not ready? No, camper's not ready. It's got an MOT. The interior is being done right now. When we get back, we got to do the plumbing, and we got to do a few bits of mechanicals. We need to make the exhaust stop leaking, and we need to make the fan work, and then it will be good to go. But you'll see what we're up to over the next couple of days. When we see what we're up to over the next couple of days, but we don't actually know yet, so that's why we haven't told you. But it's good to go and explore Eastern Europe every now and then. Ford Tornado Custom 9-seater. They're quite expensive though, aren't they? But if you can find something like that, I'll tell you what I really like, the old Mercedes Vito. You know, the square one that like went really rusty? Or fast car coming past, an M5. Yep, competition. We're only doing 65, so we was probably doing 90, 100, something like that. All the effort you put into that, you could have just bought a nice motorhome. No, you couldn't though. Let me cover this one. I think in total we've spent probably 12 or 13 grand on the motorhome, all in. You can't buy what we wanted, 12 or 13 grand. Granted, I probably should have done a bit more research and bought one with a turbo, but even if we'd gone out with a budget of £20,000, the interior would still not have looked like what we've ended up with. Because what we've ended up with is essentially a really nice, spacious, clean apartment. Exactly what we were after. Geoff, my mate got an old Vito 3.7, which is somehow you less. Yeah, that is hilarious. Phone's getting warm again. I remember on the 2003 C-Class, you get drill discs if you had the high power. Yeah, that was the thing. That's what I thought. I thought the drill discs came with the high power versions, which would make no sense on a B-Class Mercedes. Geoff, have you bought a fridge for the camper? What is the make or model? No, we haven't yet. We're still deciding what we're going to go for. I'll tell you what, doing a live feed helps me keep my speed down, because I just sit here with the cruise con on and I can drive and chat to you lot, whereas if I'm not live streaming, it's very easy to either get bored or let your speed creep. Highest speed we've achieved so far on this trip was on the German Autobahn, and it was 120. Could have gone a bit faster, but there was a strange noise coming from the passenger seat, so I had to slow down. See what I did there? To be fair, this car, it's got a little bit more after that, but it ain't got a lot more. It's not that sort of car, is it? Screw in a toilet seat from the outside. That's a good idea. I'm putting a 66 Benz truck on the road. Oh, that's a good comment. I'm running behind two. Turbo diesel with a ramp tray. I'll pull a camper van up on it when I want to do a road trip. That would be brilliant. Some more comments here. Thanks to you, Geoff. I'm noticing a lot of older VW Caddies down under. No utes. I did photograph a Caddy yesterday. That was a Dodge Charger that just went past. I got a 700 watt portable battery. No need to get it all wired in. Yeah, exactly. We've got one of those with the big solar panel, so I don't see the point of doing all the wiring. Have Mrs. G hold the wheel, and then you'll be totally free. Yeah, that'd work. Cruise control actually works really well on this Volvo. My missus complains if we go over 70. Yeah, so does mine. Mrs. G just gets really nervous in the car. It's like a new thing that she's developed. For some reason, it's quite funny. Like if I had £1 for every time Mrs. G hit the brake on the passenger side, I'd have many pounds. But thankfully, it never used to be like that. But thankfully, you don't have a brake in your passenger footwell. I think you did something right with the camper. It's still cheaper than anything you can buy for that money, and it's 100% customised, and it looks beautiful. Thank you. You are correct. But we haven't yet done like a. Like you guys have seen the interior, but not in all its glory. And when anybody's come up to see the motorhome, like Stu the upholsterer came up the other day to have a look at it. That was an English car in front. We've seen them before because I remember thinking they haven't got a UK badge on. Maniac. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, Stu the upholsterer came to look at the motorhome the other day, and he'd seen it in pictures, but when he saw it in the flesh, he was just like, "Oh wow, this is you've done something special here," and we have done something special. We've created somewhere that you really want to be, you know, somewhere you really want to sit. On the topic of an old C-Class Mercedes, what are your thoughts on the C270 5-cylinder diesel? I love them. I've never had one. I've had when I used to work at a classic car place, they had a CLK 220, but I think that was only a 4-cylinder. So I've not tried the 5-cylinder 270, but I think generally they're pretty underrated cars.
8.5 miles from the border.
8.5 miles to the border, Mrs. G tells me. French car, that one, going past quite fast. The man, the imaginary, man, says Craig, the imaginary brake pedal. Imagine having a left-hand drive conversion. Citroen, the master is under the passenger footwell. Yeah, so she could actually press through the carpet and put the brake on. I love watching this. I can relive the drive all over again, says Will. Will is headed out as well. You are right, Will, but it's taken us all the way to Serbia to actually get a decent drive. Germany was full of traffic. Make sure you stop before you get to Ukraine. Yeah, to fit the gun on the roof. I certainly won't be going that far. German Audi and a Bulgarian Renault Koleos. It's a very strange looking car. We've got a train track on our right, so it'd be nice if a train came flying down there. That'd be good, but can't see anything in the mirror. There is another road over there as well. I can see some lorries. But scenery wise, we are pretty much, yeah. There is a fast one going past. That'll be a German. There's a Bulgarian. Bulgarian, it's not badged, but I can guarantee you that actually might be the E270 diesel, which was the 5-cylinder. I didn't realise they were 5-cylinder. You've educated me on that. Or the 320 diesel. Oh, you're back. Did we go away, did we? I didn't realise. I just carried on talking. Yep. Still here. The sky's going a bit grey. We haven't seen rain for a few days, but we saw some of the worst rain I've ever driven in. That was Belgium, wasn't it? Leaving Belgium was horrendous. 224 people watching me talking crap. Do give us a like if you're watching. Let us know how the feed is. Mobile phone is hot, but okay. I went where you've been for 24 minutes. No, I went away. You've been here for 24 minutes. I get you, James. Now I understand. Geoff, any chance of stopping at a Bulgarian service station? I don't think many of us have seen one. Yeah, I'm sure we can do that. We will be in Bulgaria in about 7 miles.
Oh, I've not seen a service station yet.
No, we haven't actually. Germany sucks unless you go around the back roads. I didn't know that. You really see the impact the bombers had during World War II. No, I didn't know that. My wife used to complain during my speed driving that someone has repic. Oh, message deleted. Got the phone. Get the phone. A little hat. I don't know if it's not the sun on the phone now. I think it's actually just the drain that is being put on the phone by the YouTube live feed. And then if I plug it in and charge it, then it gets even worse. My 5-cylinder diesel was also available in the old Sprinter vans, nicknamed the window maker because so many people put them down the road on their side. Why was that? We actually saw a Sprinter on its side earlier in the trip in Germany, and it was, yeah, it would have been a fairly early Sprinter. There's another UK car that doesn't have, oh no, he's got a UK thing on his number plate. Ah, that makes sense. Right, we are going through a toll road following a British registered BMW X3, cooling down to a steady 30 miles an hour. Wonder where this person's going then. Yep, definitely a UK car. We'll go past them. And we'll instead sit behind this Toyota Verso, who... Ah, there you go. That's an interesting one. That's TR on the number plate in front. What's TR? What is TR? Oh, it was very nearly a crash there. Yeah, the Dutch Mercedes was nearly hit by a German Mercedes. Toilet roll. Hey, toilet roll. Turkey. That's the first Turkish car we've seen. I guess we'll see more of those as we head further south. Curious as to what the British people are doing. The British people look like they look very Bulgarian, to be fair. Trans rights, not in Turkey, or in Serbia, or indeed in Bulgaria. You can't have trans rights in any of these countries. because
They don't look very British.
no, they don't look very British, do they? TR, Tommy Robinson, transmission rights. What's going on here? Someone's approaching. Is he approaching us? Nope, he's not approaching us. He's waving. They've opened another lane. I thought he was running up to us because we don't have a... Are your kids just plugged into their tablets with Bluetooth earphones on?
No.
Bluetooth earphones on?
No.
Not a chance. Wireless headphones are like one of the worst things that you can have health-wise. If you have your phone in a case, remove it to allow for better heat dissipation. There's my phone case. So yeah, basically. No, what are you doing, Ben? Are you watching a movie? He is on his iPad. You're playing a garden game, aren't you? Where you have to grow a garden.
Yeah.
So, I mean that you know, he makes it sound like he's fucking achieving a Nobel Peace Prize back there when you ask him. But I'm sure it's all brain rot. But it is the unfortunate inevitability of a long drive.
I don't even know what brain rot is.
Slightly warm sparkling water. We need to stop and get some drinks.
Yeah.
Is it cash or prepaid? It is. You notice this trend of countries getting rid of England translations of their place names, like Turkey did it? No, I didn't know that. Are you in one of your diesel Volvos? It's not my favourite colour, bronze brown. Yes, mate?
I'll show you brain rot.
The game Brain Rot. I don't need to see the game Brain Rot. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm in one of my diesel Volvos, the red one. This is like the OG Geoff car. If you don't know, sorry for those that do know. Bought this car on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, flip, that's it.
I don't need to see Brain Rot. I paid £250 for this car. No, because I'll get a copyright strike. I paid 250 quid for this car about 5 years ago and have restored pretty much every piece of it. And then I got to a point where I had about 5 grand in this car that was worth about 25p. But pretty much every part has been replaced and it's running beautifully. As I say, returning great fuel economy. 52.5 is not bad for a 30-year-old car. So yeah, and I just love it. I love Volvo 850s. This car is the love of my life. I mean, other than Mrs. G. You can get self-adhesive heat shrinks meant for computer memory modules. They also work sticking them to your phone when running hot.
Well, you've gone too far.
I've gone too far. And the winner is 530 din.
Yeah.
Did it work?
Yeah.
We're good. Whee! I'd do a hard pull, but there's quite a few police cars around. Go on, in your lowly A200. Are you going? No, you decided you're not to. I hate non-confident drivers. Oh, it's because they're going... Oh, she did it again! Oh my goodness!
What?
The Dutch Mercedes just pulled out in front of another German Mercedes. Literally went straight across the front of it on the way to the Portaloos. That's funny. Yeah, I hate non-confident drivers. Like, decide where you're going and be bold about it. 50.5 on an 08 Civic SI diesel. I bet it'd be better than that on a run though, wouldn't it? Like, if you did a really long run. What's the logo on the gantry sign? Looks like a man with an extended appendage. I do not know. Looks like we're heading to some weather as we head up into the mountains. Can't wait to find out what the MPG is like on the motorhome. Mine's 24. John, which engine is in your motorhome to be getting 24? I have been told, and I've been looking at some of the Talbot groups, but basically I think 24, 25 is going to be about right, which for someone that likes long distance driving, that is going to be a bit painful. That was an E63 AMG that we just went past on the hard shoulder. And now we're seeing signs for traffic.
It's the border.
Because it's the border. The two types of Mercedes A-Class drivers, single mothers and drug dealers. Yeah, you're right. And he's basically said to me that a non-turbo is going to be a disaster. But I don't know, we haven't driven it all that much lately. Or at all. But I wanted that shape camper van. A Sprinter tops out at 30 mpg at 60. Is that all they do? And I suppose, again, it depends what weight you're carrying. We've not yet had the motorhome weighed. But I'm pretty confident that with the conversion that we've done on it, we would have lost weight and not gained weight. But when you've got 4 people in it, and 4 bikes, and surfboards, and paddle boards, and kitchen equipment, yeah, it's gonna weigh a fair bit. Convert a Sainsbury's van, says someone. I don't think they're that big. And Cake Skull says he got 70 mpg from a Saab 9.3 Aero diesel. James says, what's the road number? I'll tell you when I know. Oh, a converted Sainsbury's van. I got you. So have you got the box on the back then? Great to watch, Geoff. I know Bulgaria well. How many times would the MacMaster have had to stop to charge by now? Well, we've done 1,718 miles. He gets, let's call it at best, 250, 300 miles a charge. And to be honest, it's not the, it's the length, the time. Back on. With back on. With back. Temperature's cooled down. It's 27 degrees now. My mate has converted his Peugeot 2.2 litre into LPG and HHO. 82.3 mile per gallon on LPG. Nice. What was I talking about then? I can't remember.
Is EV charging?
I was talking about what?
EV charging.
Oh yeah, EV charging. It's the amount of time that you have to spend doing it.
3 kilometres to the state border.
Well, that's good because 3 kilometres to the Serbian border, we were already in traffic because we had 3 miles of traffic. So, yeah. Hey, nice to see you, Geoff, and you. There is a Touareg. Touaregs like to go fast as well. That's what we've learned. There's Touaregs everywhere. I know someone has converted those supermarket delivery vans into grow rooms lined up in a unit. Oh my gosh, that's genius. That's like a really easy way to make a very good grow, isn't it? Do that cannabis grow in the barn.
Oh, the passports with the boot.
Are they?
Yeah.
Alright, well we'll stop getting that. Hi Geoff and family, I just joined the chat. Where are you headed now? Oh, here's the traffic. And everyone's out their cars. Why are they all out their cars? Oh, we've got 2 kilometres to the border. What is this?
I don't want my car cleaned. Go
No.
away.
I'm going to lock the door. Is that what people do, is it? They hang out here waiting for people to have their car cleaned. Oh wow. I don't need my car cleaned because it's raining. So, oh, windows up. Oh, here he comes. Look, he's going to have a go. Right, here we go. No, it's fine, thank you.
No.
No. No, it's fine.
No.
Good try. Yeah. Who's shouting at who here? Wow, what on earth was that they put on the windscreen? It stinks. Cool, so this is interesting. You didn't have this at the Serbian border, did you? So do you think these are Bulgarians cleaning the windscreens? Australia calling best surfing in the world, summer all year long. Put your wipers on, Geoff. All right, James. That is the first time I've used my windscreen washers since probably France. They don't work very well, but they do work. Sorry, I have to leave. I'm going to check a 20-year-old Peugeot 406 brake I might buy. That's an estate for all of you people over there. Right, let me see if I can get the camera to focus, because it keeps trying to focus on. We had this problem before, didn't we? Maybe if I zoom in. And mind you, there's nothing to see anyway. I'll turn the camera on. Way, here we are. Yeah, the wipers are on and it stops them cleaning the screen. To be fair, they're all getting wet now anyway. Wow, look at his outfit. That's an interesting outfit, isn't it? He's dressed like a cow. Poke a pin in the washer jets. Oh, I've done all of that, mate, honestly. There's something else going on with this Volvo. I don't know what it is. I've tried everything. I've replaced all the hoses. I've cleaned the washer jet. I've bought new washer jets. You name it, I've tried it. I just cannot get any power out of the washer jets. I think I've even done a washer pump, but even that doesn't seem to have done anything. Don't seem to have much air coming out, do we? I don't miss these border comments. You didn't bless your wife when she sneezed. Did you sneeze? I thought it was someone outside. Bless you. Stephen, you'd like Mrs. Jeff's new shorts? Stephen's your biggest fan. Are they because of the queues, or are the queues there because of them? If they ask you if you want to change money and load you with forgeries, it's a good plan. Probably just gunk in the pump. No, it's not. It's like there's no power. I've cleaned it all out. I've pressure washed everything. I've cleaned all the lines. I've done all sorts. What you need is a brown man strapped to your bonnet with a spray bottle. Any volunteers? Yeah. Only one brake light in front. Beware. I quite like that. Then more importantly, he's missing the A off his Passat badge, which is quite funny, making it a past. Fuse? No, it's not fuse because the washers do work. It's raining 34 degrees and no, it's not. It's not 34 degrees in the UK. Whereabouts in the UK are you? It's 26 here, but to be honest, it's been that warm. We're quite glad of it. There should be a one-way valve in the pipe somewhere. They can get clogged. I need to have another look, to be fair. Did you clean the filter in the washer bottle? Yes, I did. But I did all that about 5 years ago. But I've done a whole load of video on the work that I did on this car before this trip. And there's a lot of, like, I cleaned out all the drain holes. I had the front undone. I took all the plastic shielding off by the wipers, cleaned all that out. Yeah, someone's under a sunbed. That's why it's 34 degrees. Have you seen that there's these businesses popping up in the UK where you can go on a sunbed and they have like it all decorated like you're on holiday, and they advertise it like you can have a couple of hours in the south of Spain? It's quite amusing. I'm in Mexborough and it's 21 here. Yeah, we got 26. But like I said, I'm quite glad it's cooled down a little bit now. What else we got going on? We got C220 on a German plate, Touareg on a German plate. There's all the Germans seem to go south. Does the sunroof work? Please demonstrate. Go on then, just for you.
It's raining.
Yeah, definitely works. I wouldn't have a car with a sunroof if the sunroof didn't work. For me, a sunroof on a car is an absolute deal breaker. A car has to have a sunroof. Any Kia Sportages, lack of flow, either pipe or nozzles. In my opinion, the nozzles, always the case for me in the past. They're new nozzles, so it's not the nozzles. I think what I'll have, when I get home, I'll have another look. I'll take all the pipe work out and I'll start again from scratch. Because I say it flows, but it's not very strong, or maybe we need a stronger pump. Yeah, the sunroof was. I don't know if you remember, right? Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't remember this because maybe you weren't following at the time. But when I bought this car, right, we were daily driving a 940, and I remember I bought this, and I've never had an 850 diesel before, and I realised that they can achieve 50 to the gallon. But I'd just finished like putting my 940 on the road and making it all nice. And then I had a moment when I was driving this car from where I bought it for 250 quid to the MOT, and I said, if the sunroof opens, I'm going to keep this one. And that's what I did on the video. I pressed the button for the first time because the car was mucky, it was covered. This car was disgusting when I got it. And I pressed the button and it worked, and that was it. I decided that this was the car for us to keep. Gonna have to start from source and check at each section for the washers. Yeah, I'll do that. Little Geoff, are you bored?
No.
He actually loves